welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, I'm so glad I brought you back. Every video is not the same. Anyways, I literally wanted to talk about my L&D, labor and delivery. This is literally my millionth take. I shot a couple takes on my DJI camera and I broke the SD card. Yeah. Got these scones and pies from church and they were fire with the hot chocolate that I was having, and it was great for like my in between breastfeed snack. So literally said get comfy and I meant it. Okay, but first let me drink some water because a girl is thirsty. 3:20 in the morning right now. I'm gonna be telling you guys my L&D story one more time. It's gonna be literally my millionth take. I've literally tried to tell you guys this story so many times. When I finally was able to get to editing everything and inserting all my footage from the hospital, my 256 gigabyte memory card decided to break inside this SD card reader. So let's get into the story. I started going into labor on the 20th of December. That was a Friday, and I was getting ready for my aunt's funeral that morning. I woke up thinking that the Braxton Hicks contractions that I was having in the week be more intense. That's how I knew that I was going into labor. The pain started feeling very intense and it was starting to be very closer together. I decided to make our way to the hospital. This time around, I wanted to try out Sutter Hospital because they came highly recommended by family and friends, and because they're also supposed to be supposedly the #1 birthing center in the country. Yeah, I don't know the truth to that, but like with my experience, I don't know how. I checked myself in, got changed and everything. My daughter was there, who was 1 year old, was there with us. She was under the age of 6. My sister-in-law had to come and pick her up. And then it was me and my husband all throughout. Decided to go for the epidural this time around, and I highly regret doing that because I have a pretty high pain tolerance. But then I wanted to try epidural also because I had hemorrhoids that were really bothering me. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. Got the epidural in, it worked, did its thing, didn't feel anything, but it definitely slowed down my labor. Got to the hospital, I was already 6 centimeters dilated, and then I didn't end up getting the epidural in at around 3 or 4ish, dilating almost every hour. So I got to 10 centimeters at around 11ish, and then as soon as I got to 10 centimeters, the doctors came in. I was like, you need to start pushing. Barely got to 10 centimeters, girl. Started pushing and pushing and pushing. Mind you, the epidural is doing its thing. She tells me, oh, the baby's head is not where it's supposed to be right now. It's like still very high up and everything. She's just constantly pushing for, oh, you need to go for a C-section, you need a C-section, C-section, C-section. I think from all the stress and everything, me and baby's heart rate started seesawing and stuff. Like, my heart rate was going very high and her heart rate was dropping, and then mine started going up and hers was going down. And then I started throwing up. I would have thought that someone would have caught on that something was wrong with me. And then I started telling my husband, hey, something is wrong. I don't feel okay. And then he goes, of course you don't feel okay. You're having a baby. Yeah, need you remind me? I was throwing up and everything, and I was already showing signs of infection. We did 6 rounds of pushing and everything, and because it was causing too much stress for the baby, it was like, you need to go in for a C-section, this, that, and the third. I was just like, okay, whatever. They wheeled me into the OR. I'm on the table. I have my epidural IV right here on this hand. It was just causing me so much discomfort, and I started reacting really bad to the epidural medicine, which was fentanyl. I started shaking, having tremors. I started having fevers on the spot. I was getting very, very cold. And I was telling the anesthesiologist, hey, something's wrong with me. Hey, I can't breathe. And he goes, oh, you can breathe. You can see it on the monitor. You're breathing. Bruh, 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 bruh. Really? That's how I knew I was going to die. Anyways, they got the baby out. Baby was beautiful. Everything perfect. I started throwing up again. Started shaking, having tremors, and then I started coding. Going in and out of consciousness before I coded. I coded like 3 times, flatlined, zero. And my husband was there and was like alerting them and everything because everyone was just paying attention to the baby. And I was literally laying there on that table on my back, throwing up on myself into a bag though, but then it was just like all over the place anyways. My husband was there and was like alerting them like, hey, she's throwing up on herself, she might, choke on her own throw up. I was glad he was there because he advocated for me throughout the whole process, throughout the whole event. But then he had to go with baby to the nursery. I was going into septic shock, having high fever, having really bad tremors, blood pressure started skyrocketing. I've never had high blood pressure in my life, nor in any of my pregnancies, so this was a shocker. I was hemorrhaging. Mind you, I was throwing up at the same time. So I was like losing a whole lot of blood. It was just like a lot. Last thing I remember was I was telling my husband to take care of our kids, to love them and everything. And he was telling me to be strong, make it out of there. And that was the last thing I remember before waking up with the nurses pressing on my stomach because, they have to massage the uterus or whatever, feel for the uterus, make sure it's not soft and soggy. And so that was the first thing I remember. I was in so much pain. It woke me up. I went back out and I woke up again when they were trying to transport me from downstairs, the labor and delivery, to the ICU because I was in septic shock. It means all your organs are failing. Yeah, I was all swollen up and everything. I just feel like experience over there is like, it was obviously no one's fault, but I feel like a lot of things could have been done to make things better. For instance, when I got up to the ICU, I didn't get to be cleaned up until 4 a.m. in the morning. All the bodily fluids, shit, blood, everything, the works. I would have thought the OR people would have done that, or at least the nurses from labor and delivery. No, I didn't get cleaned up until I got to the ICU by the ICU people. Crazy to me because, maybe that's what caused the infection. And because, baby just came out of me, she also started showing signs of septic shock and sepsis, which was what I had. So she also had to be monitored. She was taken to the NICU, spent 12 hours there, and because she couldn't stay longer on the CPAP, she had to be transferred over to Sacramento Sutter, where I gave birth to my oldest baby. And tell me why you're supposedly number one in birthing centers in the country, but you're transferring my baby to another hospital, and y'all literally told me that it's the biggest, it's bigger, and it has better service, better care, for her there. So make it make sense. Yeah, also another reason why I feel like this experience was very traumatic is because I had to literally do everything for myself. Like, I got discharged from the ICU a couple days later. I had to self up and out of the bed to the bathroom. Mind you, that bed was uncomfortable as fuck, old as hell. I had to get myself showered. My first shower after my C-section, I did that by myself, literally. And I was just like, ugh, so annoyed. Was it because my baby wasn't there with me that I wasn't getting as much attention and help I should have been getting? So I don't know. I didn't realize all these things until like a week or two later when I was at home and I was thinking about the experience of my labor and delivery, and I was like, oh my gosh, the neglect. But anyways, there were some nurses that I met there. They were bird sweet. They sent me a card in the mail the other day. It was just so sweet. Baby and I got discharged in like a couple of days, like 4 or 5 days later. So far, so good. We're recovering well. We're doing much better. She recovered faster than me. They were just waiting for me to get discharged so she could be discharged to my husband. And my husband ended up going back and forth between the hospitals. Mind you, the hospitals are 40 minutes away from each other because I was in another city in Davis and she was in Sacramento, my hometown. Bless our brother-in-law, he lent my husband his Tesla to use to save gas because gas prices are ridiculous here, honey. Hopefully in 2025, gas prices improve. So heartwarming, even though the experience for this birth was very traumatic. I'm so grateful for my village. Even though I don't have the ideal village, I have a village and I'm so grateful for them because they showed up for my daughter and for me at all hours of the day. Like, go and visit my daughter at all hours of the day. And I was just so grateful. I didn't get to hold her until I got home and it just broke my heart so much. Couldn't even hold my first baby because I had crazy rule where she couldn't come in because she was under 6. It was just a shit show. I definitely would not recommend giving birth there. I mean, this is my experience. It was terrible. But yeah, to each their own. I'm pretty sure that the people that recommended this place had an amazing experience. And I'm not saying that the people aren't great over there. They're amazing. Like their character, their personality, and everything. It's just the level of care that I got at that time was not giving what it was supposed to be giving. It is what it is. Lesson learned. I'm stubborn as hell, so I was determined to go and give birth there. But now, I wish I listened to my husband. And I'm not gonna say that in real life, in real time. So yeah, I'm just say that here because hopefully he doesn't watch this video. But yeah, I wish I listened to him, and I'm so grateful for him and for his support and for all he does for us and everything. But yeah, I don't feel like it's like pregnancy, childbirth, everything is giving me PTSD right now. I don't want to do it until a couple more years. But yeah, that's my labor and delivery story in a nutshell, because I'm so tired of recording myself telling this story over and over and over again and reliving the shit over and over and over again. So yeah, thank you for coming back. If you're not new here, if you're new here, I appreciate you. Please like, follow, and subscribe. And if you're giving birth in this new quarter of the year, please stay and stick to the hospital that you know. Don't be like me trying to go and try out new hospitals and shit. Stick to where you know. Okay? And 2, don't stress. Don't stress. And 3, pray about it. Pray about all things in all seasons. Okay? And 4, read a good book. 5, smile. Smile. Makes the heart happy. Okay. Bye.